Klingon,
I'm just saying.
but that's the wrong
Not
franchise.
Klingon.
If a good show gets down to 10, I may drop a shit.
Then you know what?
Okay.
You can drop as many.
Not a
of-
shit, but like a shit.
Alrighty, guys, welcome to GIQUE Critique. This is episode ? Because we don't know where this is going to fall in the lineup. I think episode 3. We have a lovely day in a far, far away galaxy. Today, it is our Star Wars show ranking episode. Pause for enjoyment. I am here as usual with my co-host, the extraordinary Vivian. Beautiful and wonderful. You dressed up as Padme?
Who? Jasmine? Yes.
Padme. I was like, for a second, I was like, Leia? But I
It
was
could
like, no.
be either or.
Either or,
but
depends
yeah,
on
Padme.
what episode we're watching.
Streetwear Leia.
Streetwear,
was
it Cost Bound or Disney Bound? It
Yeah,
is
there you
technically
go.
because Disney owns
It's
it
a
now.
bound.
But we are here with two extraordinary. If you're anywhere on the internet, you absolutely know these two. We've got Nick Downs and Hannah. But again, don't let me take up the spotlight. We are here for them. So Hannah, take it away.
Yeah, I'm Hannah. I've been cosplaying for a very long time, but on the internet for about 3 years, and I love Star Wars with all my heart, and yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
And putting you on the spot, what would you say is the one Star Wars moment that defines you?
Off the top of my head, I would probably change my answer in maybe like 45 minutes, but knowing myself.
But it's not the greatest. It's the one Star Wars moment that defines you.
Yeah, I think it would have to be in Empire Strikes Back, in the room where Luke is getting bandaged and stuff after sleeping inside of a whatever that animal was in Empire Strikes Back. Sorry, fake fan.
Everyone's like in the comment section, it was this.
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry. But
The Wampa.
in that room, and when Leia calls Han Solo a stuck-up, scruffy-looking nerf herder, and that defines the kind of person that I am today. I think
love
it was that moment.
That's a beautiful
Nice.
moment.
Right?
All right, Nick,
I love that.
take it away.
I am Nick. I have been on, the internet for probably 4 years now. I think Star Wars has been a part of my life. I have multiple Star Wars tattoos. But I think Star Wars has been in my life because, remember when everyone was like, when did you gain consciousness, gain cognition? The first movie that I can remember after gaining consciousness as a human was Empire Strikes Back.
Ooh, wow.
That movie has stuck with me, for years and years and years.
And you did a
outside
short
of-
film too, right?
I did do a short film. It's called
which
Eye
was
of the Forest.
amazing.
Go check it out right now.
And same question, what is the one Star Wars moment that you feel personally defines you?
Well, it would be cheap to say it's the one that I have tattooed on my arm, right?
It would be, yes.
It would be, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, I'm like, which is?
So it is the
Oh, wow.
moment.
Yeah.
Sorry, we are rated
Stop it.
question mark.
It's the scene
yeah.
I'm looking up at the twin suns at the end of A New Hope.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
Journey
stunning.
and all that stuff. So
All right, well, let's get to ranking. We're ranking Star Wars TV shows today, and we're doing this a little bit, we're taking a different method than we did the last 2 episodes. We're going to hold up the show and then have them rank one by one. I think that'll be a bit challenging. We are going to start off kind of strong a little bit with the Book of Boba Fett.
Mandalorian Boba.
And once it's on the board, you guys still have room to change
Yeah, you can
it
still
as we
switch
go.
it around.
Yeah.
But just
Okay.
starting off, where would we put Boba Fett?
Yeah.
I just think it didn't deliver on what the trailers promised.
Yes.
Yes.
You know,
It didn't
like the
deliver on
trailers
the book.
promised us a completely different storyline, and then it just derailed. And I was like, okay, I'm not really interested. In
It just
this.
felt like another
And I
attachment
feel-
of the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the pull to this show ended up being the Mandalorian episode they installed towards the end. And then
Exactly.
that's what got people to maybe I should watch it for that Mando
Yeah.
episode.
I'm going bottom row for sure.
Oh,
it is
yeah,
not in my
absolutely.
top 6 at all.
Okay,
I
what are
think
we
in terms of
feeling?
the other ones too, because I know we can move around. But
There's
I'd like
going to be things that are worse.
That's true.
So,
we
I'm
feeling
willing
like
to put
7,
it
8, 9?
like between 8 and 10 if you're feeling
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna say 8 because those Luke scenes 8. So there you go.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay. Fair
Boom.
enough.
Yeah.
That's a good
The
start. Though. I
saving
feel like
grace of
8
that
is
show.
a very good start. We're kind of middle of the road right now.
Yeah.
It is sad to know that the saving grace of that show was scenes that he was not in.
Yeah.
That is kind
I
of
mean,
sad.
what
Yeah.
does that say though? I mean, but is it the character? Is it the actor? Or was it the writing?
The writing.
Okay.
100%.
writing.
Tamara Morrison's great. We love
Because
Tamara
it's
Morrison.
hard.
my
It's very
gosh.
hard
Yeah.
to say, to give a bad credit, but then at the same time,
I
it's
just think
like,
it just didn't need a show, honestly. Like, the only thing that we really wanted from Boba Fett was, one, how the heck did you get out of the Sarlacc pit?
and we got that in the
two,
first 2
yeah.
seconds of the
Yeah,
film.
it was the first
like,
scene.
what was
Or
he
the
up
show.
to? And that was like 3 episodes. Like, I think a special would have been better, like that Werewolf by Night kind of.
Oh,
vibe.
that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Like,
You know
an
what?
hour, like a little
That
mini
would've
movie
been
series or
good.
like an
Yeah.
hour long. That would have been probably
Yeah.
better.
All right, next one up, droids. Specifically,
Yes!
Droid,
Oh
the
my
Adventures of
God!
R2-D2 and
I
C-3PO.
remember this. Oh my gosh.
This was an older one.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, wow, that's a blast from the past. That is
It
old
really
school.
is.
I don't think it's better than Boba Fett.
I was about to
though.
say,
No,
you're
no.
putting it in front of Boba
No.
I
Fett.
can't put it in front of
It's
Boba
that
Fett.
80s writing where they
Even
didn't
though they
trust
fought
us
a
to
giant
think
sea
for
monster,
ourselves.
you don't think that that's... I mean,
Now, do we think there's something worse than this?
or are we just gonna...
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's something else out there that's worse.
so we're putting that.
I
I gotta say
personally
10,
enjoyed
because I
Droid.
feel like there's
10,
something better than
yeah.
it, for sure.
Now, is it that it's just old and you feel like, as far as like story-wise, or just in general, you're just like, you don't see this beaten out
I
of
think
the
it's
show?
just that 80s writing has always gotten me, because like it's so interesting, because in the shows, it's not the same writers or anyone on the creative team, obviously, but in the movies, like they kind of trusted the audience more with like telling us information and, you know, also keeping things, I don't know, it's just that writing in the movies was way better, and I think that the comparison of Droids, which obviously came out like in around the same time, they just did not trust their audience enough, and obviously the main
Yeah.
audience was children,
Yeah.
but you can still trust children, you know? Children, there's a Star Wars quote about children's minds or whatever, I forgot who said it, but yeah.
I mean, that's why they start their Padawan so young, you know?
Yep.
It makes
Right,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, so not greatest of writing. Yeah.
And speaking of children's television shows, we also have Forces of Destiny, which
Oh
was
my
also
gosh.
geared
I
towards a
actually
younger
liked this show.
audience.
I love
I
it.
actually liked it a lot.
It's genuinely really good. Like I have rewatched they're very short, obviously, which is very convenient, but like everything like works within canon. They have characters like Sabine, who not anymore, but at the time was a very like small like
Yeah,
little
and getting to
secret.
see more about these characters that you
Yeah.
don't get to see on screen.
And it also highlighted a lot of the women in Star Wars too,
Yes.
which is what
Yes,
I enjoyed.
because we love
absolutely.
women.
We love
I love
women.
women. I'm willing to put it at 6 for right now.
Okay,
Yes.
top row.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
This is our first top row.
Yay! This is a good one. Ready? We've got Clone Wars, not the Clone
Yes,
Wars.
okay.
Clone
Older Clone
Wars.
Wars, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
sister loves this more than the
The
Clone
Clone
Wars.
Really?
Yes, and I think it's because we both grew up on anime, and
That's-
it's very
yep.
much an anime centric. Like it's in the style of that, where it's a lot of like silence, mostly like sequences, and like very OP characters. # Mace Windu. I don't know though, because it is very very good.
However,
However,
well, what's pulling? What is the however of it?
I just think it doesn't give enough. It's also one, not canon anymore,
Yeah.
and number two, it's also like the characterization doesn't feel true to
Like
the films.
genuine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. In and of itself, do you feel like it is a good show?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But when put up against other things,
Yeah.
I would say there are a lot of Star Wars related things that don't necessarily feel Star Wars, and they
Yeah.
either feel they're either done really well, even though they like stem away from that Star Wars feeling, or they're done really bad.
Yeah.
So where would you put this in regards to? Does it feel like Star Wars in a good way? Or
I
a
almost
bad
want to keep
way?
asking: is it higher or lower than Boba Fett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's higher.
I agree.
And I'll tell you why. Because there's a fun fact about this that I'm sure
We
you
love
guys
fun
know,
facts. It's
but
probably on our
stop me
sheet.
if you know. The original concept for this style of animation used to be used for toy commercials. That this was
Really?
not supposed to be a miniseries.
Oh.
It was not supposed to be little
Like a
5 to
commercial,
10
or-
minute little episodes that got cut together on Disney Plus. Now, obviously, there's Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Yeah.
This originally was supposed to be little animated 30 to 45 second clips to sell toys right after.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't
Attack of
that.
the Clones in between Revenge of the Sith. It's better than Boba Fett.
It is better than Boba
Alright.
Fett. So
And
we're,
in
so we're
terms
looking.
of-
Is it better than the Force of Destiny? You know,
We gotta go 7. I don't think it's better than Forces of Destiny.
I think
So
I want to wait
I-
till the end before we start moving things
Yeah.
around.
this is what 11 minutes, maybe
Oh,
3 minutes.
Maybe.
You know,
They were little shorts.
They're shorts.
Yeah.
They're shorts, right? So it's interesting that there's so much power in just telling a concise story versus something that's stretched out, drawn out. You know,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
What's next, Vivian?
All right, we've got
We're getting
whatever
down
this
to the-
is.
I have so many fun facts about that show in particular.
Ooh, the Bad Batch.
Can
Where
I
are
just
we
say,
putting
so
this one?
I didn't actually watch The Bad Batch. I had to rewatch this one, but the concept of Bad Batch is so interesting, fun, and amazing to me. This is something I would love to see a live action of if they ever have the opportunity to do it. Just like a bunch of clones that are defected and like the Order 66. It's just so juicy of an idea.
Yeah. Which they just announced the final season a couple days ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's for a total of 3 seasons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I will say I do appreciate Star Wars not droning on because it's doing well. I like that they will finish a story, give us 1, 2, 3, and then be like, we told our story, we're done, and not milking it for the money. I really
Yes.
appreciate that.
Unless you're the Skywalker saga.
Unless, yes,
Yes.
well.
Stranger Things. Anyway.
Oh, it's hard because like there's really good points and just really ones that really fall flat. Where at the end of the episode of that week, I guess I was like, oh.
Can we agree that
watch that.
season 2 was leagues better than season 1?
Oh, absolutely.
Can we agree that? Because season 1
yeah.
felt
They found
like
their
filler
footing, though.
the entire season.
Yeah, whereas this one had like maybe 1 or 2 episodes. Of
Yeah.
filler. Yeah, I have to agree.
So are we putting it? Is it better than Boba Fett?
Boba Fett's going down.
I
We're
think
going
Boba Fett's
9.
going
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
is it worse than Clone Wars?
Oh, I would say that they're equal, but they can't be equal
Mm-mm.
because they both.
One
I think
has
they.
to be lower.
Yeah, one does have to be lower.
I'm so pessimistic. I'm sorry. One has to be higher.
Here's the
That's
argument
true.
I'm going to make for putting Bad Batch at 8, because I still think Forces of Destiny deserves the 6th spot.
I agree.
Okay.
There's another fun fact about Clone Wars, is that, because you've watched it and I'm sure you guys have seen it, that is the introduction of General Grievous before Revenge of the Sith.
That's right.
That scene of him attacking all the Jedi that are trying to protect Palpatine, that is how Palpatine gets kidnapped and get put on
So
Grievous's
you're
ship.
saying Bad Batch, because it's like a side quest kind of a thing, it goes lower, whereas Clone Wars is setting up the world that we know.
Yes.
I say 8.
Yeah,
Yeah, because of
8.
that. It's,
Yeah.
it's a
Alright.
historical
I like that.
document.
Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
I
It's a
love
historical false document.
Yeah, like I
Yes.
love the cultural relevance that Bad Batch is bringing of, diversity and trying to bring in, because it is an allegory for, disability. Let's just, call
Absolutely.
it what it is. But I think it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's got a great story, great, cultural relevance. I think it's just nostalgia.
Yeah.
But we can just say that Star Wars in general it's a lot. It's a bunch of allegories. There's a lot that people can find in this show.
Yeah.
Oh
do we
no.
got?
Oh, no.
You good? Are we getting
no.
up?
We're
It's
doing
either-
it up
It's
there.
either number 1 or number 12.
We've got Andor.
Oh, we might have to fight on this one.
We're going to.
Yeah.
Oh, are we?
you pro Andor or anti
No,
Andor?
not
Fight.
at all.
Really?
Not at all.
Andor, I ranked Star Wars show. I don't think that Andor. I think Andor was finished when I ranked Star Wars shows on my YouTube channel last year. Andor is one of my most favorite Star Wars shows I've ever seen.
Why?
And you
Interesting.
feel
Okay.
opposite?
Yes, let me explain. We've never had anything like it. There is not a single light. There might be a lightsaber. I don't remember. I haven't watched it since it came out. But there's not a single lightsaber. There is no Jedi. There's like a mention of Jedi, but there are no Jedi. It is entirely what other people are doing during the, and I've always said ever since I was younger, I was like, I want to see what like some random farmer on Naboo is doing on a random Thursday.
I have that same commentary for superhero shows in general, and I've kind
Yeah.
of made like
Yeah.
mini-series on my own TikTok pages about like the everydays, what everyone else is doing while the Hulk's over there smashing,
Even like Mando, I hate to say it, but like Mando's not really just Mando. It connects to all of these other, the main 3 people
Right.
all over again, which like much love to my main 3. They're my whole life, but like
I agree with Hannah, is that this is a show that shows the tragedy. Like, it's very tragic how high the stakes are for people like Cassian, who are putting their whole life into this, and then they never get to see like the end result. And that's
now,
why I
all
always
that
hate it.
being said, you're the opposition.
Yeah.
yes.
3v1,
So, okay.
maybe.
Yes, I'm a Rogue One boy through and through. Okay, one of my favorite Star Wars movies to date. Here's the thing: when I watched that
This
movie,
is the thing.
here's the thing: Cassian
Was he not hot enough for you?
was the one person I could not care less about when I watched that movie.
Rogue One?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, fair, same.
Like, I could not care less about him and or his story. That, I'm sorry, and this is probably another suffering of like the writing, right? That 9 times out of 10, the reason why you don't like characters is the writing of the characters is bad. When Rogue One came out, Cassian was written basically like any other gruff, macho, co-star.
Even watching it and getting all this backstory in the heart,
Yeah.
did that save the story for you?
It did save the story a little bit.
Okay.
I think this show is the definition of rebellions are not built on hope.
Okay.
So
So given everything that we've heard, is it better than Boba Fett?
I think so.
I have such a bad feeling that Boba Fett is going to keep going down.
I don't think it's going to be
feeling about
droids.
this.
It's not going to be droids.
Is
but
it higher than Force of Destiny?
I don't think it's higher than Forces of Destiny. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think honestly, I think the entire
wow.
bottom row needs to be shifted down.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
God, okay.
Yeah.
I think this hurt my heart a little bit.
Yeah, I'm also a little
Yeah.
flawed.
I'm confused. What are you guys waiting for? I don't tell me because I feel like I know.
Oh man.
Mm.
I know.
Mm.
Oh man.
Like,
See, here's the problem.
So again, Star Wars is built on hope, and I was so hopeful for this one.
Yep. Here's the problem now. We're getting into all of the live action shows where some of them are really great and some of them are really not great.
Yeah.
So it is either going to be top 5 or bottom 5.
Yeah.
We've got one more
We have
spot
one
in our
more.
bottom 5.
My issue with Ahsoka is that with it, I want to exclude, spoiler alert, the Hayden Christensen episodes. Because I don't think that they're Ahsoka.
But they are.
They are.
They
But
are.
also
And
it's
in
not
the
what
sake
the
of this, that
series
I
is,
know,
yeah.
but I do know what you mean though, because it is.
And you
It feels
thought
like
my
it.
take was spicy.
I know.
It's hard to say that because I understand exactly. There's so much heart and there's so much that we as consumers gained from those, and it was great. It was almost like a. There was a big thing online saying that because obviously Hayden Christensen got a lot of hate for his roles in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But the problem was we had to grow up. We had to find our voices in order to speak on his behalf.
Yes.
Now that we're here, we're so thankful. We're so happy. So I get what you mean when you say you want to separate that. But unfortunately,
It is the
it
show.
is the
Yeah.
show. It is the show.
Seeing his episodes was kind of like when you strain muscles for a long time and then finally like
Just
crack
have that
every
release.
bone.
Yes.
And it's the release.
Yeah.
It's like the endorphin release where it's like, finally, I've had so much pressure up to this point, and these episodes just released all of that tension in my body.
But was it enough to save it?
No.
So I actually have not seen Ahsoka. I've seen the first episode only.
Okay.
So my question for you two, maybe this will guide your ranking.
Yeah.
When they have Anakin in these episodes, does it feel like fan service, or does it tie into the plot of the series? Like, does it help move the series?
I'm
That is
along?
such a
50-50.
good question.
I'm probably 60-40 fan service. My problems with it come from mainly the action scenes, obviously being in the stunt sector. I'm sorry, but that, like, spoiler alert, but that final fight between
Again, there are no spoilers,
the three
guys.
of
These
them
shows have been
and
out.
the zombies, it was pathetic.
Oh, yes.
It was
yes.
pathetic. They just stood there. Because, again, we have to remember that this is post-Rebels. Ahsoka in Rebels is statuesque. She's wise. She's playing both sides of the field well, but while still remaining on the side of, like, doing good for the sake of doing good. I don't get that from Rosario. I don't.
Do you think it was, and forgive me, this might be a bold question, do you think it was a bad casting choice?
I don't know.
I go back and forth on it.
Same as well, yeah.
Because I know that was something that she wanted. She kind of, again,
Yeah.
going to the fan service, she put it on Twitter. She very much wanted to do this. But do
Yeah.
you think that this role was correct for her?
Yes and no, and my argument for it is that I think that if they had written it differently, I feel like we'd be like, it was best casting ever.
We'd be singing her praises at this point.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's definitely befalls on the writing, and the writers just went on strike. I'm not blaming them for it. It's their bosses who made it not the greatest, I guess. But yeah, I'd have to say it's probably due to writing and due to story choices and due to corporations that wanted something that
So out of our hands.
So
Yeah.
do we think it's better than Forces
No.
of Destiny?
No,
Are
I
we
think switch them.
shifting again?
Yes.
I
I
think
think switch 'em.
it's worse than Andor. I'll put it that way.
Really?
And I was only 3 episodes into Andor, and
So
I
we're
think it's
shifting
I
that.
All right, let's
Yeah.
see what okay, let's do
Yikes,
this way.
droids is
Droids,
number
I'm sorry.
12.
You're so much fun, but you're a
Wow.
victim of your time period.
That's
But
so
there is one
hurtful.
that's worse.
Oh wait,
No,
is
no.
it?
It's worse than
This
Andor.
is
Okay.
staying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There you
let's
go.
Make these
I'm excited to see your top 5.
See,
Yeah, this
I
is
would-
not what I expected at all. But
It's not what I
love
expected.
it.
Honestly, I'd even argue that Clone Wars is better than Ahsoka because it
Really?
is the animation anime
you
style.
agree?
Yes,
But,
I have to agree. Yeah.
Okay.
but it's not better. It's not
Yeah.
worse than Bad
And
Batch.
Ahsoka.
or-
Okay, I was gonna say, is Ahsoka better than Bad Batch then?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Like, just barely, though, by the
Oh,
skin
no, yeah.
of its teeth.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, next we've got Star Wars: Galaxy of Adventures.
I
Oh!
love these.
It's so
I love them.
good.
I
Oh my
love them. I
gosh.
love the animation style. I love how it is like anime inspired. I love it.
I love it too.
Love it.
Yeah.
So
where
where
does
are we
it
putting
go?
this? Is it okay? Is it better than now? Is it better than Forces of Destiny?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We want to put it at
Ooh,
5.
we just hit top five.
Five, yeah.
Woo!
There's not much to say about it because it is
It just
somewhat
is
a minute.
shorter.
It just
but
is good. Well,
it's
these
just
are the
good.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
These are the 3-minute
They're
episodes.
It
just
does
good.
what it has to do.
It does.
All right. Next, we've got Star Wars Visions,
Yeah.
which is another.
I feel like you guys were a little
Really well
overzealous on
animated,
these
yeah.
choices, and now
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
you
You
can still move
assumed-
stuff around.
Uh-huh.
the thing
But I
about
think they just
this-
assumed that all of them would be the tops in the
Yeah.
ends.
I said the same thing. I'm gonna say the same thing about this that I said about Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was for a very specific group of people, and that
This was for me.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the Animatrix, if you guys ever
Yes.
watched that. I really like anthology shows. I like shows kind of like how you said, how we see the lives of other people.
Yep.
Also, I love having other animation styles. I think that that's
Yeah.
really cool.
because it introduced me to I literally have watched other anime because of where I was like, oh, that style is so cool. I think it was the first episode of season 2
episode.
that I was like, ooh, that's a really cool studio. What else have they done? And I've watched like 2 series of theirs.
I think season 1 of Visions is pretty near perfect when it comes to animation anthology media. So I would put my foot down and argue that season 1 is near perfection.
I have to agree.
So where are we putting this in our ranking?
Probably at 4, just because I know what's coming. And
Are you sure?
Do you?
I mean,
Yes and no.
if I
You
had to
can
guess, if I had to guess,
We've got 3
I'm thinking it's gonna
more.
be Clone Wars, Rebels, and Kenobi. That's what I'm gonna guess.
Oh, yes, I agree.
I know. They're
Oh, we might have to
off.
fight on that one.
They're wild.
Okay.
Oh.
The Mandalorian.
Oh, that's right.
That kind of hurts my heart a little bit. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's so
Forgot
tricky.
about the Mandalorian?
Yes and no. It's so tricky because season 3 fell extraordinarily flat for me, but season 2 was one of my favorite seasons of Star Wars ever, and season 1 was also one of my favorite seasons of Star Wars ever.
I have a feeling if we're so off, right? I have a feeling this is gonna end up being number 1 because holistically,
so.
2 out of 3 is better than a lot of these shows.
But are
I've
you
done.
saying
Oh,
that because you
agreed.
believe that, or do you believe that the audience wants you to put that there?
I don't care
wow.
what the audience thinks. We're the ones ranking here today. No,
You're
I
at home watching this on YouTube. We are doing this. Yeah.
Exactly. No, I genuinely think the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian are some of the best, off lightsaber, Star Wars.
They did it very, yes, it's the best way
know.
to describe it. Yeah.
So would
I
this
say put it 3
be
for now.
3 for now?
It's
Yeah.
gonna go up.
Oh,
I just
yeah,
have a feeling
absolutely.
it's
Do we
gonna
want
go
to
up.
do 2 as a middle ground?
Yeah, let's do 2.
Yeah.
Yeah? Alrighty.
See what else
It's
is
true.
there?
We worked, because it's so funny. In the other shows, we kind of worked front and to backwards. It's interesting that you guys are doing
Bottom to top.
bottom to top.
But
yeah.
it just happened to work that way, though.
Yeah.
Now that we're just
Well,
flipping
you
it.
started with Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Fair
Which is
enough,
so
fair enough.
controversial.
Like, I'm sorry,
yeah.
but
All right, next we have Ewoks.
there it is. Yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
This is number 1.
This is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is
Yeah.
number
no.
one?
So what are we
obviously.
moving?
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
You don't like the Care Bears of Star Wars, kind of just living their lives fighting witches and other tribes? Doesn't do it for you? No?
No, yeah. This
Um,
is one where I tried watching an episode and I couldn't get through
So
it.
cute. It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. They speak
It's
English.
like schlocky 80s TV that is really hard to get through.
It's like the Smurfs. If you ever watched the Smurfs
Yeah.
way back
Oh.
when, it's that kind of style.
And this is one of the ones where I was, like I mentioned earlier, this just didn't feel like Star Wars.
No.
It just felt like a Saturday morning cartoon.
I'm thinking 12.
I'm thinking 12 too.
Really?
Which
Right? So what are we
Because
shifting?
droids is really fun.
I think to shift everything, yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
so this
everything
is
forward.
literally here. I'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's I can get through a couple episodes of droids. I will roll my eyes a little bit here and there, but I can
at
get
least
through
watch
it. Yeah, exactly. Ewoks, I've
Or
attempted,
RIP.
it's not.
I'm shocked
Not-
that Clone Wars and Rebels are not on here.
Me too.
I'm shocked.
Me too.
I'm like, hold on a
Personally,
second.
I got a lot of hate in my comment sections of when I ranked this because I ranked Rebels so high.
Oh,
Really?
yeah,
I love
absolutely.
Rebels.
Rebels is fantastic.
Me as well.
Well,
I
without
actually,
Rebels, we don't really have Ahsoka.
the thing that I've always loved about Rebels ever since it came out when I was younger, one, it came out at like the perfect time because Clone Wars wasn't like done, but like it felt like it, and it wasn't really getting good.
We hadn't gotten the announcement yet of.
No, and
Yeah.
season 6 was just not. No.
No.
But with Rebels, I love it because honestly, yes, there's filler, but the filler does mean something. It's all leading to something, and like we didn't know what. That was what was exciting about it. And it's kind of why I like it more than Clone Wars, because Clone Wars does have a lot of filler.
Yep.
Filler that personally I can't watch. Like it's just not.
There's good arcs, but like
Yes.
watching a whole season sitting down, no.
No, absolutely not. No. But with Rebels, like the way that I rank things is if I'm having a party and I can just throw on an episode, will everyone be like dope, cool?
Okay.
With Rebels, I feel like you can.
But
Even
you
if
don't think you could do that with Clone Wars?
No. Random
Okay.
random Russian roulette episode? No.
Yeah. I'm more scared of a villain that will say "let them go" than someone who says "chase after."
Yes.
I'm way more scared of the
Yeah.
guy who goes "let him go."
Yeah.
I'll get him. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Stakes
Not
automatically
even-
risen.
Which is also why
I get the goosebumps. I'm like,
Ahsoka-
I'm almost like, no, I'm okay. You can kid. I'll put myself in the cage. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I also think a lot and this goes for a lot of these shows. The fan base has a really, really bad habit of revisionism. That they look back at the shows after the initial, "Oh my God, this is incredible," and then they go back 3 months later and they start nitpicking, and it's like pick a lane and stick to
Yes.
it. Either you like it or you don't.
So-
I hazard putting Rebels at 1. I mean, I think it's better than Mandalorian.
I was
have
gonna
to
ask,
agree.
are we moving
Really?
anything or are we
Like,
sticking this
if
at
we're
one?
talking story
That's
wise,
at 1.
like people forget that when we first got introduced to this cast of characters, because my friend called it the Avengers of Star Wars, and I think that's absolutely hilarious.
Oh, I love that.
But we have to remember, Ezra was like 13 when the show started.
gosh, yes.
That of course he's going to be a punk-ass teenager.
Yeah,
of
same with
course he's
Ahsoka.
going to suck, you know? But I think Rebels as a storyline just is leagues above everything else on this board, because you have, like you said, individual people that any single person can identify with, between, you know, a star pilot who is a female in this universe and gets doubted because she's a female in this universe. You've got a Mandalorian who doesn't want to do the Mandalorian ways and is jumping away from her family life. You've got so many different relatable personality traits and characteristics that any single person can relate to when they watch that show, that if we're looking at this board, Rebels clears easily.
It's peak fiction.
And that's the thing about Star Wars too. I think it's always done really well at creating community and bringing community together. Way back even to like the premieres after A New Hope with Empire Strikes Back, there were people in lines for these movies making friends in the line, all dressed up, all cosplaying before like cosplay was like cosplay. And yeah, that's something that I think this has always done well about, is just people
Completely
coming
agree.
together.
People and hope. We're
With
happy.
what we were given with these shows.
Yes.
Nothing else needs to move
But
around.
I also don't think that there's a Twitter group ride or dying for droids or Ewoks.
I don't know.
No.
You say that.
Just
You say
saying.
that, but I feel like
Just saying.
my father's probably gonna be like, I disagree at least.
Mine too.
The
With a few of
Ewoks
these.
fan base is about to flood
They're
the
about to
comments.
just go.
Oh yeah, all three of them.
Right. So at
Yeah.
number 12, we have Ewoks, 11 droids, 10 Boba Fett, 9 The Bad Batch, number 8 Ahsoka, number 7 Clone Wars, 6 Andor, 5 Forces of Destiny, number 4 Galaxy of Adventures, number 3 Visions, number 2 The Mandalorian, and coming in at number 1 Star Wars Rebels. And this is the list. Well, huzzah, guys. You made it to the end. Huzzahs, huzzahs.
Okay.
Minigame time,
Yeah,
yeah?
now we've got some mini games.
Minigame.
Do you want to do the minigame?
We can do that. So based off of your top 3 rankings here, we have some trivia. So you can
Cool.
either we'll do one question from Rebels and then one from Mandalorian, or you can do 3 questions from your top 1 or your number 1 ranking from Rebels.
Yeah, so how do you want to do
Spread
that?
the wealth.
Yeah, let's do it. I
so
want to give it a shot.
All right, so we're doing 2 Rebels and 1 Mandalorian. And this is something you guys can work together.
If we don't get these, this is really embarrassing for
It
us.
is really
I'm not
embarrassing.
gonna lie, this is really embarrassing for us.
It is.
Question 1, and this is a Rebels question. Ezra first meets the Ghost Crew while they are stealing what from the Imperialists?
Is it the Meilu run?
Meilu runs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
We have Meilu runs, the T7 ion disruptors,
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Because
yes.
they ran into
blasters,
Vizago out in
or
the dunes.
transponders.
Yes, okay.
It's the-
Did you hear the last 2 options?
Transponders and what else?
It was the Meilu runs, T7 ion disruptors, blasters, or transponders.
Oh, it's the second one.
It's the ion disruptors, because they bring them out to Vizago in the dunes, and then the ATST walks after them, and they shoot the ion disruptors
Yeah.
and disable that, and then I think that's what it is.
Is it?
The correct answer is blasters.
Is it?
Fuck!
It is blasters. I think you're
Wow.
thinking of a separate part of the show. But the
I'm
correct
thinking
answer.
of part 2 of
You
the
are.
premiere. Shit balls.
Now we've got one from Mando.
Oh god.
I think you guys got this one.
Okay.
It's okay.
Simple. How does one come to own the Darksaber?
You win it in battle.
If they win by trial by combat.
You must beat its owner in a duel. Bonus question: who did Mando beat for the Darksaber?
Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that one.
I love that. That was an easy one.
Too
Easy breezy.
Easy
All right.
point.
That doesn't make the first one any less embarrassing.
That's
yeah.
okay. That's okay. We'll see how well you do on this one.
You guys needed a redemption question.
Yes.
It's 2 out of 3. Okay,
Yeah.
so here we go. How much older is Ezra Bridger than Luke and Leia?
They're the same age. They were born on the same day. They're all born on Empire Day, right?
Is it 5 years, 2 years, 2 months, or 1 day?
One day.
One day.
It is 1 day. Fun fact, Luke and Leia are born the day after the formation of the Empire and Ezra's birthday. So you are correct. But they are 53 years old in, what is it?
Force Awakens.
In The Force Awakens.
That is wild to think about. You know what I mean? Because you don't really think about how Padme gives birth to Luke and Leia,
Mm.
and then a day later Ezra gets born.
Yeah.
You don't really think about that. You know?
No, it doesn't really come up in discussions. We kind of
Yeah.
just talk about them when they are existing. And
That's
Also,
really
I
funny.
love that question because I was talking to someone about this weekend because I cosplayed as Hera at LA Comic Con this past weekend. And I was talking to someone about that Leia episode because obviously most people know me for my Leia.
Yeah.
It's the one I haven't done though. Is Rebels. Yeah, it'll happen eventually. But we were talking about it, and like that episode with Ezra and Leia, they're both literally a day apart. I don't know if she knows that because I'm sure adoption is dubious, but like they're literally a day apart. But Ezra is miles younger than Leia.
They really, I didn't even
Because-
think about that.
Yeah, and Leia's like
She
she
looks
acts
like
like
a
she's
whole
30 years
20-year-old.
old, literally.
No.
It's the Force. The Force ages her a little bit
The Force
more.
does age her,
I
but
have to
just-
see a timeline of Luke's timeline, Leia's timeline, and Ezra kind of from birth all the way up until, the
You're
Force
right.
Awakens.
53.
Luke is farming for this amount of time, and Leia's doing so
Literally
much cool
plotting
shit.
and scheming. Yeah,
Hunting
it would be
mountains. Yeah.
I was about to say, there's a little period right here where she meets Kenobi and goes on a fun little adventure while Luke is still farming.
Oh, yes. Well, guys, that is the show. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys had a great time. If you guys agree with the ranking, please let us know below. If you would move some stuff around, let us know about that too. And tell us if you enjoyed Ewoks. If you're of that, we're so sorry that we ranked it so low.
Ewok enthusiast, let us know in the comments because Nick thinks there's only 3 of you.
Yes, in
You
general.
prove me wrong.
But yes, next time we are going to be ranking some other stuff.
Mhm.
And
Oh, yeah, you forgot to tell them what they won.
you guys won.
All expense paid trip to
Yeah, like all
Hawaii.
expense paid trip to Tatooine.
To
Absolutely.
Tatooine,
Get
yay!
your sand buckets ready. Sand buckets? Is that what they're called? Beach bucket, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sand
Yeah,
bucket.
sand
Yeah, you
bucket.
guys are
something.
making some sandcastles out there.
Fun.
Yeah.
Catch us
Sandcastles.
next time.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.